Right, so a little bit of a weird one. We're at my local club lake. Loads, and I mean absolutely loads of people down here. Probably the best bit of weather we've had since obviously the winter. You could definitely feel spring is here, and we're trying to get out and catch a few of those lovely carp. But in front of me is not a carp setup, it's actually more of a pike setup. It's a bit weird in the fact that I'm using a Ninja LT 4000C reel, which is quite a lightweight reel, and then coupled with a 702 MFS lure rod. Now, the reason why I'm using these instead of my normal carp setup is because they're a cheap alternative to carp rods. So say if you're getting into the sport, or if you're looking for a stalking setup, like today, I am actually fishing the margin where everyone else is fishing. So far out long, I'm fishing right under their feet where they don't expect the fish to be. So, setup that I've got, 2 standard bank sticks, Nash butt lock, Nash R4 alarm, fairly light bobbin. I think there's only about 20 gram there, obviously because I'm fishing the margin. I'm fishing not super slack, so I'll actually drop that off just so there's no weight on that line. Hopefully fish will pick it up and bolt. Nice drag set, as you can see there. That bank stick's not going anywhere, that's not going anywhere. And the reason why I actually brought this setup is the reels were 30 quid at the Angling Direct Black Friday sale, and I think the rods were similar. So for 50 quid, you've got a reel and rod, which by far is not cheap. They can be used for multiple purposes, especially these reels, if you manage to find spare spools for them. But to be fair, for how cheap the reels were, I just brought another set of reels instead of buying spare spools. At 30 quid a piece, you cannot beat that. So, loaded with 12-pound Maxima, so it can be used on the rivers, it can be used here like today. I can pretty much use it for all instances. There's a good stretch in the line, and here I've got another one going out long, which that's why I'm looking there. I've got my pod out with one rod on it. It looks a bit stupid. I might put another one out because I am here with a mate that's filming me, and we're just going to hook on a little PVA bag, flick them out. Here I've managed to put a bit of loose feed in, but I'm not feeding them. There's people out here that are chucking absolutely loads of spods in, but this place is thriving with bream. And to be fair, I am fishing for them as well. So fishing pellet, a lot of oils, a lot of attraction, just trying to nick a bite. Right, a bit of a look into what I'm using. I'm quite dark, as you can see. The light's fading away, a few storm clouds, doesn't look the best, but looks carpy. So we've got 2 rods out, fishing with decent. Is the wind going to affect that? Oh no, it seems like it's all right. Anyway, so 2 rods out with essentially these on. So this is a pellet mix that I've pre-soaked, chili, hot oil, a mix between black pellet, low oil. So all the pellets that I'm using are low oil in this because I want a fast breakdown, but I'm adding that oil content using hot chorizo oil, spicy, anything a bit with spice. I'm using a bit of salmon oil, bit of hemp oil, good mix in there. I think I've even put a bit of Dragon's Breath, because Dragon's Breath is a goo similar to the Red Energy and Isotonic, but it has a high oil content, and if you've ever seen it come up onto the surface, it can actually slick. So a bit of that in there to give that orange hue as well. Crushed 8mm pellets, so I've got 8mm black pellet, crushed them into bits, put them in there. Real fine crumb, essentially, nothing too dramatic, nothing too serious. Little golf balls. I've catapulted about 5 or 6 of them out over the spot, and that's it. So for the whole session, that's all I'll be using, this little tub. And if I run out, hopefully it's because I'm catching fish, fingers crossed. There you go, barbless roll on here. So easy running rig with a piece of sweet corn, really light rigs, basic bream fishing. But if the carp come along, that is absolutely fine by me. But yeah, little tiny bream, but if you can get a few of these in a session, get your confidence up, ready for the summer. For how cold the water is, they're quite lively. Obviously they're just waking up out of that winter sort of cold, but they're there to be caught. I reckon there's loads out there now. But so now, as soon as they've turned up, we're going to put all the rods on the spot, bags out there, and hopefully nick a carp amongst them. Bit of an update of life to come. So tomorrow I am going down to a set of lakes on the other side of London, and don't know what it's like. I've never been there, but I've actually forgot the name of the place. It looks proper good. It looks nice. I'm not there to fish though. I'm there to interview and have a look at iconic baits, and some of the lads, they're there on a social, and I've been asked if I wanted to come down and say hello to the lads and interview a couple of them. So we've got some of the sponsored anglers that are willing to sit in front of me and me talk to them and ask questions for a few bits, and I can film them on my lovely phone. I'm using at the moment, I'm using plastic sweet corn. I'm using little quads that I've had made for me, and yeah, it's nice. It's a good way of working. Usually I use paste, but I haven't got the paste with me, so usually I'll wrap that around me hook bait. But obviously it's about not being prepared. I am not prepared, and that is where we are at with this one. But it's all positive, it's all good fishing, and this is what you don't see as anglers. So I'm going next, so I'm going to record a goodbye film, and then tie it all together of me looking like an idiot, and then I don't know, we will see. I haven't even checked, so I don't even know if I recorded the fish that I did catch. I've had a couple, but if it's gone, you may never see this video. And those who do see this, you'll be lucky. I'm not even looking at the camera, that's the camera, but I'm looking at myself, because I'm vain. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Look, there's people looking at me going, what's that fucking kid on about? That's it for me here today, testing out these absolutely brilliant little tiny stalking rods, and even though I've been casting them as far as feasibly possible, they have still caught and they have still done me well. As I say, I had them off Black Friday deal. They were well worth the money, and the reels I think I will be taking to other areas of my fishing, as well as me carp fishing, roach and rudd and all that sort of stuff. So get some floater line on there, be surface fishing, get some braid on there, be a lure reel. So hopefully we can get some spare spools for cheaper than I brought the reels for, because I only brought for 30 quid each. But fingers crossed, next time will be as productive as today, and this is the start of spring, so hopefully you can all get out there and catch a few massive ones. But for me, I'm going home, because Tay's on the go.